Okay, well, I want to welcome everyone. I'm delighted and excited to have you here at our event, From Panic to Power, Stress Management Solutions for Busy People. And my name's Ann Greco, and I'm a mental health clinician. I've been practicing for over 20 years, and now I coach busy professionals to help them to deal with work-related stress and business anxiety. So let me get started here. And the first thing I'd like to do is to define and to ask everyone here to define what we mean by stress. How do you define stress? And if you look here, it says that it is a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. And so if you think about that, you have your own version and maybe your own commentary on what stress means for you. So that is what we are going to cover. And I want to go ahead and build on that idea of experiencing stress. And I want to explain that a lot of times what we're saying is initially the stress actually gets worse than what we originally imagined. You feel unwell, you can't focus, you get mad easily, you worry too much, your energy decreases, your productivity goes down, your relationships suffer. And for some people, they feel like they're on a hamster wheel and they actually experience that state of feeling stuck. And to mark that, there's a clinical way of kind of explaining this. It's called the cycle of anxiety. And the cycle of anxiety actually involves avoidance. And what happens is that uncontrollable symptoms are controlled by avoiding the anxiety-producing situation. The examples of avoidance could be skipping class to avoid giving a presentation, using drugs and alcohol to numb feelings, procrastinating on challenging tasks. And basically what it renders for people is short-term relief from anxiety. And the avoidance of the anxiety situation gives an immediate sense of relief. And so the symptoms of anxiety lessen, but it's only temporary. What it actually results in is long-term anxiety growth. The fear that initially led to the avoidance worsens, and the brain learns that when the anxiety-producing situation is avoided, the symptoms go away. And as a result, the symptoms of anxiety will be worse the next time. And the tendency to avoid the anxiety is actually more likely because we have created what we call a neuropathway in our thinking. So one of the things that I like to tell people is that there are simple and practical things that they can do to help them manage anxiety. And one of them actually does involve what I call an activation. In cognitive behavioral therapy, we have things like cognitive restructuring, thought stopping, and other types of mechanisms for doing that. I do that even more simply by just recommending that people activate their thinking. And a very simple way to do that, I'm only going to take 10 seconds because we're kind of busy and moving quickly today. But one way to do that is to practice and kind of focus. Some of you may close your eyes or include breathing, but really, all it is a cognitive activation. And I'd like everybody who's watching now to just simply repeat the word grateful internally in your mind. I'd like you to repeat grateful, grateful, grateful as you're moving around, as you're doing things. Grateful, grateful, grateful. And what you're doing is you're activating your thinking so you create a lens for noticing what you're grateful for. And for some of you, it will involve noticing the basic things that you're grateful for, your family, your friends, your work, the people you serve in life. And then when your challenges come up, you might even be able to see some of the gratefulness that you experience when it comes to challenges, because there are opportunities for growth and there are opportunities to make a difference and connect with other people in a powerful way, and then actually begin to move forward in exciting new ways that you never thought there were. So another thing that I like to present, here's, just some of my signature content on how I help people. I tell people 3 key words, and I keep it that simple. I distill it down. If you want to help with your anxiety and stress to lower that, the 3 things you want to do are to increase your expression, increase your outlets, and then begin to work with and understand and increase your healthy engagement. So I'm going to go through each one of these real quick. When I talk about expression, I mean going ahead and getting away from the tendency to internalize thoughts and feelings and really openly putting out energy Sometimes it involves talking, writing, singing, dancing, making art, whatever that is that allows a person to feel fully self-expressed. We are at our best and we promote wellness when we have full expression, and we can constantly be developing, expanding, finding new ways to actually enjoy positive expression, healthy expression that begins to make a difference for us. And then what happens is you get in a space where you may not even notice that there's any kind of anxiety or stress. It's just part of living and your overall experience of life. The next area is outlets. I think it's important to have outlets. I think it's important to cultivate outlets. And these are activities that naturally release tension and allow you to focus on your thoughts and feelings. And of course, being able to visit them, what's going on if I allow myself a stream of consciousness, what's there, and that course that we're offering to everybody here, the opportunity to download, the ability to work with your inner critic. A lot of people do find that they do hear from their inner critic during an outlet because the thoughts seem to they run through, but you can actually kind of look at that and learn to go to the next step, which that I'm talking about is engagement. And you can work on being able to engage with your own thoughts and feelings in healthy ways so that there is a direction for them and they become productive. And that is a natural way to reduce stress and release any kind of anxiety or that propensity toward an anxious state. The next thing too is noticing your engagement and how you work with people, places, and things around you. Are they healthy? Are they serving you? Is there a positive outcome that everybody sees? Is there a common goal? Are you in a situation where you notice that it feels satisfying to connect meaningfully with other people, other things, and the places around you? So that's a brief overview of expression, outlets, and engagement. The next one has to do with these instruments of change that I will focus on with people, which I think people would expect if they're wanting to manage stress and anxiety. And one of them is that we look at self-care. There's 5 types of self-care, and some of them may seem pretty self-explanatory. I'll just run through them real quick. Physical self-care, diet, exercise, spa days, anything that you do that improves, enhances, and makes your physical body thrive is physical self-care. Psychological and emotional self-care could involve just doing things that are really soothing to your mental capacity. And also it could be connecting with a coach or connecting with a mastermind, doing those things that really do feed the energy that's positive and promote well-being in a psychological and emotional sense. When we talk about spiritual self-care, it could be a person's how they worship. It could be how they see life in general related to their philosophy and connect with that higher part of themselves. And for some of the people listening, it may just be as simple as communing with nature, which is really valuable because people who hike and do outdoor activities say that really is an experience that takes us to new places, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So the next area is what we call social self-care. And social self-care involves being around people that you genuinely enjoy being around, who you like, who make you laugh, who their vibe resonates with your vibe, and you're on the same level. Sometimes in adulthood, we go to work, we spend a lot of time with colleagues. We don't necessarily pick them, we adapt to them, and we do fine. If we have children, we go to their events and we join the PTA and do different things. And we like people, it's perfectly fine, but they may not be our people. They may not be our tribe. And for social self-care, it's pretty important to be able to have that and develop those kind of connections. And also finding ways to socialize and continue to go out and meet people and begin to have social experiences. Sometimes the less we have, people reported to me that during the pandemic, the less they had, the less they wanted to have. And of course, the more we have, the more positive it feels to be able to engage in that way and does promote well-being and lower stress. Professional self-care, the very last one, is I find the one that people know the least about. And basically that involves having a work environment that is aesthetically pleasing, a place where you can get your work done. It's conducive to the things, to your personal style of producing work and making it productive and making it a comfortable place, relatively comfortable place for you to be doing your work. So it is an environmental thing. It can also involve your culture, of your business or your corporate culture, if you have a position with a company, and basically making sure that you are feeling good about whatever is involved in that type of culture. The last part of that being also to getting down to things like ethical things like fair wages and community concerns and other kinds of things that make a difference and ultimately promote the vision of the company, the mission of it, and promote also to the well-being and the health of the people who are involved in operating the company, the employees. So we cover a lot about self-care. The next thing we do is we design a morning routine for success. We actually go in there and find out what it is that works for a particular person to really help them activate their day, not just their thoughts, not just a behavior, but we help them activate the entire day so that it flows smoothly and it begins to be this very positive experience for them on a daily basis. The last area that we talk about is your calendar. We actually look at scheduling the work, scheduling the breaks, scheduling balance for all of the things that you have in life, because most people have lots of different things that they work with. And then the other thing is this idea of scheduling a change of scenery every 90 days, making sure that you have something that allows you to just kind of shift your focus where you are, where you're working from, or even where you are socializing from, so that you kind of get a break and it turns your attention in a different direction. And the last thing, I don't have it on there, but it's really about also sprinkling things on your calendar so that when you look at it, there are definitely things you're looking forward to. So those are the basic things. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the presentation here. But I'm going to also give everybody an opportunity. If they would like to have a conversation with me, I will go ahead and drop a link to my calendar in the chat. I'm happy to jump online and answer your questions, or actually just have a consultation if there's something you're working on and would like to, speak further. So I'll go ahead and put that in the chat for everyone. And then I'll turn it back to Alex.